Greetings and welcome to today's program on ABC Amber TV. Today is Saturday the 16th, Saturday which is the D-Day, the day that the draft for the entire nation of Amazonia is going to kick off with Mezam on the podium. But before they come in, it is exactly 27 minutes after the hour of 5 p.m. in Amberland. And we are extremely very sorry for this late start of our program, Defense Briefing. So before we get down to the program for the draft, we are bringing to you the briefings of what has been going on, and the defense chief is right here with me in the studios and will be briefing us of what is actually and has happened in the past few days. Now, before I greet the defense chief and give the microphone over to him, I want to say 21 gun salutes to every Ambazonian, especially on home front, and the Ambazonians that are folding their sleeves to begin the drafting this evening. In a few hours from now, Ambazonians will be witnessing the greatest of what La Republic has feared since this battle began: the draft. All enablers and all the people that are standing side by side with La Republic have fought against the draft. Some of them who were sent to fight against the draft, when they saw the opportunity, they took away the money in order to demoralize our people. But then the draft is coming up very, very powerfully. And with that note, after the greetings, I say hello to the President of the Federal Republic of Amazonia. Thank you, sir, and all the staff and all the interim organs, institutions that are working very, very hard to see that we get to Boya despite the obstacles. In any case, we are going to Boya, and that is our determination. Because God has said so, we believe and we will do it. And with that note, I want to say good evening to you, sir, from Boya. How are you doing? Hello, Chief. The Defense Chief, please. I'm talking to you. Are you there? Oh boy, it appears you are frozen. Can you go out and come back again if you can hear me, sir? Hello? Well, ladies and gentlemen, machines are made by man, and sometimes the machines really, really go a long way to disappoint man. And so we will be asking our defense chief, who is to brief us today, to just walk out of the studios and then come right back in so we can get you on our podium. You are actually frozen, sir, and we will need that you go out and come back again. All right, while we are waiting for you to go out and come back, because we can't get you, we can't get your voice, we can't get any note from you. Why? Please, can you go out of the studios and come right back in? You are frozen. Thank you very much. While we wait on you to do that, just drop, go out, sign out and sign in again. Thank you, sir. We are waiting for you in the studios. So while waiting for our defense chief in the studios, I want you to listen to this very briefing by our vice president.
As we come together once more to rally our support towards the war effort by drafting ourselves, it must never escape us that we are the stakeholders of our revolution, that we stand to win this fight for the liberation of our homeland, Amazonia, that as a great Mezam county, we have always given our all to make sure Amazonia is free. As a call to duty, we call on all sons and daughters of Mezam County and all our fellow comrades from other counties to honor our fallen heroes by coming out and give their support to Mezam County. We do so because we are a determined people. We draft because we are all the custodians of our national pride and we hold high our Ambazonian flag. We draft because we say no to the continuous incursion into our territory by French Cameroon terrorist forces. We draft to send a powerful message to the Republic of Cameroon and the international community that enough is enough. Let's join our president, Dr. Samuel Ikomesako, this Saturday, July 16th at 7 p.m. Amber Time for the Mezam County Ambazonia War Draft. See you all at the draft on Saturday. May God protect our Ambazonian Restoration Forces. God bless Mezam County. Long live the Federal Republic of Ambazonia.
Thank you very much, Mr. VP. We are getting ready. The people of Ambazonia are getting ready, and they are willing to come in full and in force and make sure that we get things going. While we are still waiting for our chief, um, we want to really apologize for this machine that is misbehaving. Machines do always misbehave in most cases, right? Yeah, when they misbehave, we know how to handle the same machines. Anyway, we are getting on. We want to get on defense. Okay. I'm still trying to get the defense chief come right up because um, I don't know what's going on. Hello, can you hear me? Yeah, it appears you're not in. Please, can you use this other code that I've just sent to you now to come in to the studios so we can go ahead with what we have today? Just use this other one. All right, good. You are there. All right, welcome, sir.
Thank you. Hello, comrade.
Yeah,
How are you?
yes. Unfortunately, sorry for the machines that is disturbing. Um, Yeah, we are here for the defense briefing, and we'll be very, very brief because we are gearing up for MESAM for the draft that is coming up. And so the microphone is yours to speak to the people of Amazonia. All ears are now actually listening to what you have to tell us concerning our progress.
Well, fellow Amazonians, thank you for tuning once more to our program. Our military briefing is, as we said, to give you information that is valid information that's usable to protect yourself and how to fend off the enemies from La Republique. Um, I want to doff my hat to all those who are defending Amazonia from all enemies, foreign and within. And we pray and cry and mourn for those who've gone ahead us. We know our friends and family and soldiers who have died, but let us come back and see to ourselves that this is a cause that they're dying for us. They're putting their lives on the line, and you have to ask yourself every day at home, what are you putting on the line for Amazonia? Because that's what the little sacrifices. Some are small sacrifices, some are big sacrifices, and we are asking for everybody to do their best because this fight is a fight for liberty. It's a fight that it's a thirst that cannot be quenched by any substitution. And we must do this and do it with all the fervor that we have. We have to fight this war with all the gusto. We have to fight this war like we fought foreigners centuries ago. Um, right now, we are in a drafting season to continue our fight of liberation that some people have decided not to support us. We are asking you, and we've told people, mark and forth, that this fight is a binary decision to make. You are either with Ambazonia or you are not with Ambazonia. And if you are not with Ambazonia, get out of the way, because Ambazonia will crush you. For those who've died, they are just like things. They will rise, their ashes will rise again. Don't think that killing our soldiers will end this war. It will not end this war. We have babies who are born in this war. They'll rise up and grow in this war, and they'll fight this war. We will never have that last man standing that we've always sought for. This fight is going to continue until La Republic gives up. We will never give up. We will never back down. And it's through the benefactors of those who draft their money, those who do things for this fight, those who help refugees, those who help provide medical care for our people. This land will belong to you. It's your land. It's your victory. It will be your victory. That trophy will be a liberated Amazonia that we as a people will be proud to hoist in our various homes. We have to understand that the enemy is tenuous, the enemy is violent, and they will never want to give up. Violence begets violence. We cannot do less violent than they are, otherwise they will win. We have to be as progressively and as aggressively violent, even more violent than they are. That's the language they understand. And we have to do what we must do to defend our families, to defend our people. As I said, this season is harvesting season. This is when you carry your best fruits to the church. This is the time you carry your best fruits to Ambazonia. So we call our own harvest Thanksgiving drafting season. Do the best you can do. And I look forward to making Mezam proud again this year. And we are asking all Mezanites, everybody in all parts, whether you've attended school in Mezam, you have a business in Mezam, you have a house in Mezam, you went to primary school or high school or university or worked in Mezam, you've at least at one time of your life had a residency in Mezam, you benefited from some of the dynamic activities in Mezam. We are asking for you to promote that activity. We are asking for you to contribute to that development, that in a better and organized Ambazonia will make a better and organized Momenda. I want to tell people that for those of you who are struggling to go build houses in Yaoundé and Douala, Bamenda is the third largest or highest economic grossing area in the country. And even given with all the dismal infrastructural development in our place and with no factories, we still are able to surpass places like Garwa, Bafoussam, and all those places. We have to understand we are a big and strong economic power in that part of Central Africa. And we can do that. We can do that. And I hope, please don't let me down. My money is where my mouth is. My money is with the drafting in Mezam. Thank you.
Thank you very much, SOS, for that briefing over there. People of Ambazonia, I'm sure you have heard from the horse's mouth. We are getting ready, very, very ready to get into the season of first fruits. This is 2022. Just like we gather first fruits to go give to the church, so our draft is going to be the first fruit to support our stance. The SOS actually said that some people usually make some statements and say till the last man standing. And unfortunately, there is not going to be a last man standing, because those who are born in the bushes, they will grow up to ask questions, why were they born in the bushes? Except we stop giving birth, and except this thing comes to an end, the last man will never stand. We will stand together. And that is the positivity that we have to tell the people of Ambazonia. Now, let's go ahead, sir. We want to find out from you. How do you tell us about the defense that is going on now, especially in the area of our gains? We know that when people go to war, some people will fall. But right now, our spirit is very, very high, especially as the draft is coming up. Can you tell us something about what is going on right now, especially the last week that has just passed? Over to you, sir.
I think we are stretching the La Republic forces. We are stretching them really, really thin. And they are going into every village that they can go, and they are going in squadrons of 20, 10, 20. But they go in those numbers and they come back fewer and fewer of them every time they go out. The more they come in, the more they die, the more they fall. Unfortunately, our civilians are caught in the crossfire, or our civilians are deliberately massacred by these barbarians from the east. We have to understand that yes, we are making gains, and I've said this over more often than not, that we will be at the peak, at the valleys than we are at the peak of the mountains in this fight. We are making gains, but they are entrenched routes and they are coming in and out. Or they are coming with more mercenaries from Nigeria. They're coming with more mercenaries from Europe. They are fighting this war. We are, as people, absolutely on the top of their game. They are beating these people at their game. We have our soldiers in the Bui warriors standing firm. The soldiers in Dongamantum are standing firm. Our soldiers in Bali, in Santa, in um, um, in Victoria, in Meme, in Kumba, um, they are all standing strong. The numbers may not, the propaganda may not show that we are doing a lot, but that is not our area of expertise. We are not. We show what we have and we do what we must do, and they know we it can show by the number of recruitment that La Republique is making. They are recruiting people now. They were doing it every 3 or 4 or 6 months. Now they are doing it monthly. If they were as strong as they were and as valiant as they were, they will not be recruiting as many people. We are taking a lot of them out, and yes, we can take a lot of them out. But at the end of the day, we will have to hold an area and convert it into a place that is a no-go for them. But we are doing that in small portions. But the fact is, once we do it, we hold it for a couple of months, couple of weeks, then they come back in big numbers and push us back. It's a tug of war. At the end of the day, the number of people on our side, or the stronger the people on our side, are going to pull them into the mud. And we are doing that. We are blowing up their cars and their manpower. So for those of you who are in the home front, don't think that because we don't have a big presence in La Republique, CRW, what do you call that? Their funny thing, radio station. We are not there. We will not be there because it's not a station that speaks truth. It's never spoken truth for the number since 1980. Its creation, it was basically to tell lies to our people, to tell them what they don't need to know. Um, we, as ARFs of Amazonia, we are fighting internal structures and external enemies, and we are telling our people, even if that internal enemy is your family, you take them out, because that is not a person who is willing to do what is good for Amazonia. Amazonia is stronger than family. Amazonia is stronger than any other thing that we have, because we can see when people leave Amazonia as a group and go to form friend groups, they expose their own family members. And we see what goes on daily when people vie away. I'm telling, La Republique is doing what it does, like the same animal instinct. When you go to the Serengeti park or in the Waza park, when the lion wants to kill an animal, what does it do? It isolates a particular animal to kill it. It's difficult to kill an animal in a group, in a herd. Just like it's difficult to kill an Amazonian fighter in a herd. It's easier to kill them when they're alone. It's easier to kill them when they're few and frail in their attacks. So we have to stay strong. We have to stay together, and we have to watch who is making alliances with us. You have to trust them. You have to verify that trust, and it's on a daily basis. It's not a one-time thing. You have to vet every person every day. If you have to take their phones and check them, who they are calling, who they are talking to, so be it. Our commanders and our generals and foot soldiers should have that idea that there are people who are willing to sell their souls for 30 shekels or less. And La Republic is willing to do that. They are willing to have our own people do their dirty work. And so if you want to kill your brother for 30 shekels, you will end up hanging yourself like all the other people who've done that in history. We saw what was happening in Afghanistan. They were hanging on planes to run away because they betrayed their people. You see what happened in East Timor. You see what happened in Somalia, in Eritrea. You see what happened even in nearby um, Zimbabwe. All these people who are traitors to their country are going to be traitors everywhere. Nobody's going to trust them. So we are counting on you. Do what is right for Ambazonia, and you should be forever blessed.
Thank you very much, SOS. Thank you very much for that very powerful, positive talk over there. Yes, we know La Republique has resorted to their old tricks. Yesterday, I got information that La Republique has gathered enough money from wherever they have gathered. You know, they're not taxing any little momo money that you send. So they have been gathering money and squeezing the people after all the borrowing, and the borrowers have stopped borrowing to them. They are now sending money to elites to deceive our ARFs, and the elites are going on. Maybe they have been mystically hypnotized. What would you tell the ARFs concerning the elites who are coming now saying that they want to support the fight? What advice will you give them about these monies? We hear of some people that have taken the money and they have been waylaid and things have happened. What would you advise our boys to do? Thank
I tell everybody who is trying to deal with the devil that the deal with the devil is a deal that you have to sacrifice something. And that something to you may be your life, it may be your spouse's life, it may be your mother, father. Um, we've heard up to the fact that some of them have gone to India to bring people to do. I think that's infantile kind of thinking. If witchcraft or magic was what defeats or fight wars, the Indians would be the best in the world, or the people from Benin would be the best in the world. But all those two countries are some of the poorest in the world. Um, let's not get deceived. Make our kids. We are in the 21st century, man. We cannot be believing in those stupidity. We are just saying that if you take money, it's just the same thing. You can sell your household, you can sell your parents. It's that simple. If you have to accept the fact that you want to take money from the elite to not get what you actually are, your birthright, to have a freedom of speech, freedom of movement, freedom of achievement to the best of your ability. If you are being hampered by somebody who is busy taking food out of your mouth, and you are busy supporting that person, say, no, take it, and you are not sick, and this person is eating your food, you will eventually die of hunger. So our people have to understand these elites had given up on them long time ago. They should be seen as a pariah. They should not be seen as any supporters. They should not be seen as people who should even come back to Amazonia. We should not even be talking to them. We should look at them like dogs with rabies. So if you meet a dog that has rabies, it will bite you. And what will you have? You will have rabies. And that's what they are trying to do. They are trying to inoculate every person to be a dog with rabies, like Okala Belai has said. Let them keep those that have been infected in East Cameroon. Let them stay there. Let them buy the East Cameroonians to do what they can do to defend their countries. They should not be. This is a foreign war to soften all the mischief, all the thieves, all the thievery that they've had carry out in East Cameroon. They cannot justify. They can justify it now that the war in Amazonia has taken a lot. That's why they did not build streets. That's why they do not have water. That's why they do not have health care. Yes, we will be scapegoat. Les Ambazoniens, les Onkouze, tout ça. But that is not the point. We just have to understand that our people should stand as a baobab tree in the heart of a storm. Those trees will resist any storm, even a hurricane of 200 miles an hour. We can withstand that if we are standing in one as one. But if we want a splinter and go take $2 here and $3 here and give up 10 million, that's your own. If you want to do that, it's your piece of cake. But remember, when you do that, we are watching you. We are watching you, and if you once you cross that line, you are an enemy. You will not be treated any different than La Republique is being treated. You will not be treated any different than all the black legs are being treated. We will go after you. We know where you sleep. You know when you wake up. We know when you drink. You know when you're eating. So we can do a lot of things to all those people. But we are asking them. We are warning them not to deal with all these people who sold their lives, sold their birthrights, and they are living large on the crumbs of East Cameroon. I grew up in Yaoundé most of my life. I know how these people treated us, and it hasn't changed. I have a kid who came from Cameroon not too long ago who went to the same schools I went to, and they are treated the same thing. They cannot wear their uniforms and go in public. They have to put their uniform in a bag and fold their shirt and put it. And when they reach on campus, then they put on their uniforms. So that's something we did 40 years ago, 45 years ago, 50, I could say. But hey, it's still affecting kids today. And I didn't know that until these kids were talking about this. So these people have the way to demean us. They have the way to belittle us. They have the way to slap us with their backhand and kick us with their polished boots, boots that we've bought with our money and given to them to protect us. They've used that to trample on us. If you are good, go eat salt. Go eat salt with La Republique. And of course, you may end up eating fertilizer with that too.
Well, if you are good, go eat salt with La Republic. You may end up eating fertilizer. And guess what? When you eat fertilizer, your intestine will start to grow. Everything around you will grow. And that means that you become manure to the earth. Anyway, thank you very much. Let's go ahead. In our briefing today, we want to actually find out from you as the defense sec. Um, do you think that with the advice you have given to our ARFs and the people that have gone, because a number of them have been captured after taking the money, they are deceived. Hey, go over there. That's a new ploy that a secret meeting was held, and I heard one of them regretting that the fund of a particular village is an obstacle to making the entire village sign the protocol with La Republique for deliverance, meaning to deliver our people, not only the fighters but also the civilians. Because when La Republique comes, knowing that they are the worst untrained militias on the face of the earth, that do not know that military do not fight with people who are armless, people who don't have arms. But these rogues, they come in, and anything and anybody on their highway, they destroy and do away with the person. Now, what advice again? I'm still talking on the people who are alive to hear. I know so many of them, some of them are hearing us right now. And if you are hearing us, I want you to listen very attentively. Take a retrospect, take a check behind, and look at some of the people that some of our best fighters that have been brought down. Who brought them down? It is not actually La Republique, but the proxies of La Republique who are actually living amongst us. Now, the SOS just mentioned something there in passing, that when you are in the house and you get out of that house and you go to a strange house that you don't know, you may be used as a sacrificial lamb, because all that you did before you actually were deceived to get in there, you were doing the right thing, but you were deceived by whoever. Now, what are you advising the ARFs concerning their house, meaning the LGAs, the county, and the interim government as it stands? Over to you, sir.
You alluded to a chief of a village or an LGA trying to mandate its citizens to become what they want to East Cameroon. I just want to tell that particular fund or whoever that is that we in the northern zone have a panshade to take out chiefs who do not abide by what the values of that community is. You could see the women in Babanki after the chief had sold all the land to Dan Paulo. They told him to reverse that decision. He went to court and supported Dan Paulo. The women of that village told him, "Don't come back to the village." He came back and they burned him alive. The women did that. The men did not even do that. Uh, if an Amba woman can behave like that, let these chiefs not be comfortable where they are. When they killed this chief in Babanki, there were soldiers there with them. What did they do? They ran away. Everybody has to take care of themselves. The same thing happened in Balikumbat. We have a history of that. We do not respect, we respect our authorities, our local authorities, but we do not respect people who defy us and defy us in a very derogatory manner that it keeps us naked in public. So that fund, we have a history, and I'm telling him his days are numbered if he goes across the line. And For those who want to take money, I say, well, it's tough out there. It's tough out there, yes. But like they say in the Bible, if I can remember, Pastor Commando, they said, what is this, the value of salt if it loses its taste?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm here to help you with anything in the
So
Bible. Go
so
ahead.
if
Yes.
you lose your value as an integral person of an integral society, you become
Yeah.
nothing. We have
Mm-hmm.
we have soldiers look like Nambere. Nambere went out with all fanfare. They welcomed him in 10 limousines, and he was drinking in bar and dancing for 10 days. And after those 10 days, his sacrifices were off. He's now begging like the prodigal son, and nobody's even willing to listen to him. Nobody wants to give him something. He's crying like a baby. He's running and hiding. That's a soldier who gave up his guns. Who gave us? He gave us up our guns we bought for him. He
Mm-hmm.
stole from us and handed it to a bounty hunter. But guess where is he now? He's there crying. Those there are lots of them. Nambere was the same thing. The other person in Lebielem was the same. So we have to look at
Ayeke.
what's that again?
Ayeke.
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 Ayeke
He's
was
gone.
there.
Yes.
You can see what
Yeah.
happened to Commando. I tell you,
Yeah.
these guys isolate you. They'll groom you that you are the best. You do this, and they
Mm-hmm.
isolate you. And when they want to take you out, they take you in grand style. They make a fake battle, and ADF kills you.
Mm-hmm.
You have to understand that we have a proxy force in Ambazonia that is called the Ambazonia Defense Forces. And that's what they do on behalf of La Republique. They take us out basically because we are so compassionate that brother Cain and Abel, who betrayed the other. Abel betrayed Cain in the Bible. And what is
No,
the
Ken.
living proof of
Ken.
what? If you look at what
Ken
who betrayed our famous FMK,
Ken is
somebody I don't
Ken is
want
the one who betrayed. Ken is the one who betrayed Abel, who killed Abel.
Abel.
So Ken is who killed Abel.
Yes. So
Mm-hmm.
we have a modern day one where the people in Lebielem decided to sacrifice their own son
Mm.
for self-interest. And we see all this. But for those of you who are short-sighted, for those of you who wish to eat one day, be fat, and die like a mosquito, your days are numbered. You will be fat, and of course, you will die like a mosquito. Those days are not long and far between. It's very easy to lure people to take money for our girls to bring girls to your place, take the girls to come and deceive you. There are lots of traps that you can get, and as a soldier you want to take a life of celibacy to stay away from the good things in life, because you are fighting because you are not getting those good things in life. You want to get those things. You cannot short circuit your life with a little brief encounter here with a woman, or a brief encounter with a politician who is literally a prostitute who's been sodomized in Yaoundé every day. We have to understand these things. They are a kingdom in Yaoundé that's a kingdom of hell. We are trying to get out of that kingdom, and we are not counting on you who is trying to sell us. We are going to get rid of you whichever way it is. But I've said, and we've said it again and again, we will have a few that will fight this war. And we don't need 8 million people to fight. We need 8 million to gather intelligence for us. And that's where we're going to win this war. Not everybody will be a person who fights in the field, but the few that are in the field will have everything they need to have. Like I said, um, the Haitians beat the French mighty Napoleon army with little or nothing but fire. Fire. They burned all their plantations. So if you guys want to do something to La Republique to cut all their foreign exchanges, you can burn all your coffee farms and grow tomatoes, because all those things you don't drink coffee, you don't drink chocolate. Burn them down and grow something that will take you every 3 months to make money off it. You wait for a whole year. It's capital intensive, it's labor intensive. So why are we wasting our time? We could bring this kingdom down to its knees within a matter of months if everybody burns down their coffee farm and burn down their cocoa farm and plant tomatoes and lettuce and cabbage and Irish potatoes and peanuts and cassava. Yes, they'll buy it from us. They'll buy it at the prices we determine, not the prices they determine. So we can bring these people down if we really mean it. But the thing is that we have to understand that Taking a poison pill bit by bit does not necessarily mean that it will kill you. We can take that one poison, swallow it one time, it will still kill us, but the time will be, you will not suffer as much. So we have to give up our small cozy areas, our comfort zone. As they say, a comfort zone is a dead zone. We should get out of our comfort zone and fight for Ambazonia. And this is that time. The draft season is here. Look what you can do for Ambazonia. Stop trying to find out, oh, this man has chopped money. Oh, this man has done this. What do you do with the pastors who spend all their money? What do you do with all the crooks who come here and give you money doubler? What do you do with the government who you pay taxes, they don't do any roads? How many roads are in Allah? How many roads are in Wabane? How many roads are in Kambe or in Manfe? How many roads are there? There are no roads. But how much money have we been contributing to these people? Willingly, and some of them are destroyed, they come and they steal from us by making illegal stops, by making illegal police control, by inventing documents that you don't know. They'll call a document in French and say, oh, you don't have it because you do not know. They say, okay, since you don't have that document, you have to pay. Do you know how much we spend as an Ambazonians every month just going back and forth traveling? 2.5 billion franc every week leaves Ambazonian into La Republique's pocket. The soldiers are not fighting for any increments in their salaries because they already have their own increment in salaries. They make their own increases. They determine how much they have to make. I've heard soldiers in Bamenda say, oh, if after 1 year being posted in Bamenda, I cannot build an etage, then I'm not a man. Yes, they've said that. And they say that. And yes, if they are making 2 billion francs every week in that area, then guess what? They can build out their mansions. From stolen, they are all looters. And we have to look at them as such and not accept it. We cannot make a wrong right because it's repeated to us over and over that we are Anglophiles. We should not. And I think this is the fight that some of us entered in this fight because of that acronym.
Thank you very much. Thank you, SOS. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you have the phone number there on the screen for WhatsApp calls. You can call in and ask the SOS a question on our defense system and what is going on. We have just a few more minutes to go. And before we go, if there are no call ins, I want to let the Amazonian people know that. The interim government has decided and has stood and must stand very, very firm to the end, knowing fully well that on the day that this government was handed over was taken over by Dr. Samuel Sako after the former president was adopted. And we hear a lot of stories of the betrayal of the president. When he took over, he discovered that he cannot by himself carry on this defense. So he handed over to God Almighty. And like the SOS said, if we were to fight any war by magic, I think the best people in the world that would have been defeating every war is India or the Benin Republic people. You know, they brought some voodoo men after the grandmaster came, went to Bamenda, went to Boya, took some soil there to go and enchant. He went and died. So they now brought in these voodoo men from Benin Republic. I'm told that they ran away for their lives. In fact, that some of them were caught in the crossfire, and the rest took a flight. I don't know what wings they use. The only thing we have not actually seen is the Indian people whom for them to bring in. I'm sure that the gods of the Indians have told them that if you go there, that land belongs to those people, and you cannot fight God who has given them the land. So be very careful. Don't make the mistake of others that have gone there, and we only hear stories. So, ladies and gentlemen, we want to tell you that Ambazonia is standing just like America stood against England, Britain, and when everybody deserted, who was that? Is it George Washington or whoever? I'm told in the story, he decided to fight on. So, Ambazonians, whoever you hear is dead, and you thought that he was the King Kong of Ambazonia, or that is he was the main person, like they have all been saying. Ivor said it, and so many of them. but they were not, truly speaking, they were not killed by La Republic. They were killed by the in-house. And today, we have a lot of coup plotters who have decided to deceive our ARFs to join them in their coup plotting, and has handed them over to La Republique du Cameroon. And we are hearing a lot of stories which we are waiting for the stories to unfold. Now, SOS, I was told, I have not actually verified, but I was told that La Republique now calls the coup plotters program, they called that young girl, innocent young girl that have been deceived by some of the doctors and PhD holders in the Amazonia, who are gullible and have been sold over to the devil. They deceive her to take up the presidency, and now recognizes, the La Republique now recognizes and calls them president. I don't know president of which country, because our president, Dr. Sako Samuel, is strong and still giving instructions, and people are going ahead with that. Meanwhile, in the days of Sisiko Ayuk, the La Republique never recognized and never called him president of Amazonia. And in these days of Dr. Samuel, they have never called him president. And then when the coup plotters, after they have done their deal in their normal trickish way, La Republique is now trying to make them known in the world. In our defense, what do you think that ploy and that gimmick is all about? Over to you.
There are major systems in your body and there are minor systems in your body. There are major systems in the car and there are minor systems in the car. System that can fail and that car can still drive, and system that fail and that car doesn't drive. The IG under Dr. Sako is that system that if it fails, nothing works in Amazonia. Dr. Sako can call these soldiers to stop fighting today and every one of them will stop. We've done it. We call for these country Sundays and it happens. We tell our people to stop doing what they do, they stop it. La Republique knows that it cannot negotiate with all these, I'll call them puppet minor characters in a puppet show. Cristiano's presidency, that he deliberately chose who he wanted to cover his tracks of having stolen money. To bring Marianta, it's beautiful. Marianta is being dragged. She's an honorable woman. We have been in this fight for a long time. I give her the courage to want to serve Amazonia, but she was deceived by all the other people who were, I don't call them coup plotters, I call them racketeers, because they literally took what they're doing as a racket. They stole money from a legitimate organization, a legitimate country, or a country in vision, and created their own and turn it to be theirs. I think we are calling them coup plotters. They are not coup plotters. They are racket. It's a racket. They went over. They used internet. My account was, I had canceled my account for ABC. They subscribed me again. That in itself is theft. I did not willfully resubscribe to them. So we have to understand these people are all thieves. Either willingly or unwillingly, they are thieves. They are petty thieves, and they thought stealing over the internet is not stealing. Stealing is stealing. They stole from the people of Amazonia. And I think if we are trying to take these people to court, we should be taking them under the RICO Racketeering Act in the city, in the various states where they are, or in the federal government program. This is a racket. They plan, they sat, and they control, do wire transfer fraud, they change accounts in the banks, and that's a big crime. We should not take this standing or sitting down. For those who they've misled, hundreds of our soldiers have been killed because of this move that they made. If you ask them today, Mrs. Asong, you are the defense person, or Mrs. Jomia, how much money have you sent to Field Marshal? Field Marshal who left under the Sako administration and went to this man was literally left stranding with little kids who may not have had food to eat. You could see Field Marshal. Field Marshal was a shadow of Field Marshal. Field Marshal was not. If at all what the picture they're showing is a representation of Field Marshal, it really tells a lot. I still have my doubt until everything is conclusively stated. If Field Marshal, the king of Amazonia, is dead, But if that representation is for who we saw, who was a valiant soldier, who was a healthy soldier. At the end of the day, the picture that we show, he could not even support himself. And it's pitiful that brother, the blood, family blood is thicker than Amazonia. And it's sad that a brother betrayed his own brother to have him isolated and butchered the way it's been butchered, even though we don't know if it's La Republique. I doubt if it's La Republique, because La Republique, they are very proud when they do little stuff. They put big stones on people and then guns. But this one, they could not even tell a single thing until Mr. Capo Daniel went online and said, oh, they had killed Field Marshal. Of course, Field Marshal had been one of the targets of ADF. And it's pitiful that we had to, Cristiano had to expose his own family member with no protection. And he died literally alone. It really makes me tear up. This is somebody who's given the epic of his career and his strength to fight for Ambazonia, only to go in a demise like a rat. My heart goes out to that family. Any soldier who dies is a pinch to my heart. I feel bad for every one of them. Every day, sometimes I cry here, and people say I'm a crybaby. But once you see how these kids are killed, sometimes ruthlessly for no reason, but if he was only able to defend himself with the people he had, but people, he has shedded a lot of people when he decided to change side. And that's just some of the costs that people get. The same thing happened with Ivor. The same thing happened with Ayeke. The same thing happened with Commando. The same thing happened with a lot of our people. And I'm just praying that our brother, Field Marshal No Pity, should understand that when we criticize him or we talk to him in the back and try to, we are seeing some of the things that he's not seeing. We are getting some of the information that he's not getting. And his worldview may not necessarily be like ours, but I'm telling him to be mindful. Once, you don't want to have an internal enemy. You don't want to have somebody in your house who is your enemy. You want to have the enemy outside so that the person inside can protect you. But once you make yourself an enemy inside and outside, you have two enemies on two fronts. You're only one person. You have a limited resources. And that was what killed the Field Marshal. Field Marshal, I don't think since he cut from the IG, he ever had any money coming from Marianta or Reverend Assam. They always say, oh, they are doing this, they are doing that. But they've destroyed a lot. They've taken us 4 years back. They've taken us 4 years back. But luckily, the structures are still there. We can still reconfigure these people. It's the same thing that the A4 in Bafut was killed because they were all, some of them in that 7 kata were all not liberation fighters, but they were all thieves. They were all rackets like ADF. They were going around harassing people and all. Some people are rejoicing that they're dead. I feel bad that they are dead. They are Ambazonians. They are our own people. As bad as sometimes our kids are in our houses, we don't throw them outside to the enemy. We pull them in and slap them under the bed. We have to do that. We have to understand we are not going to wash our dirty linens in public. Otherwise, at least we be looked up as Yaoundé people are. We have to keep our own people. We have to keep our own little secrets. It's a little dirty secret, but we have to. We don't have to expose this. I'm telling everybody in the diaspora, those of you who are trying to make little militias here and there to fight each other and kill each other, these kids are our kids. We are out here abroad. You do not belong in that country right now. And probably many of us are not even going to go to a liberated Amazonia. Even if it's liberated today, many of us will not be there. We will not be able to do anything. All of us very soon will be 60 years old. We are not going to be looking to go work. I'm looking to go get some retirement and drink me some moo and ride horses and go do some farming. That's what I'm looking forward to. We are not looking forward to go sit in our office. We've sat in offices all over this country. And so we are not looking for me, I will speak on my behalf. I'm not looking for anything but for a liberated Amazonia where I can live from one place to another, from Bamenda to Nkwen, from Nkwen to Santa, or everywhere in the northern southern zone without somebody stopping me for no reason. I can drive from Chicago to Seattle, and I may not even encounter police on the highway. But in Bamenda alone, there are about 74 different police controls. And every stop is asking for money. Can you imagine if you have to go through that length? You will not have any money. So we have to understand. Let's not kill our own people by making them frustrating there, where we have our people terrorize our own people, that they feel that the enemy is their own protector. It's shameful. Where we in the diaspora, some of us are literally behind dealing with La Republique, cutting deals with them, going to ministers. We've seen people who stand here and talk true talk, and oh Ayuk Seseko, oh this Ayaba, oh this. When we realize that we cannot expose our own children to the same thing that we are trying to expose these children, then we'll understand that it hurts. It hurts. It hurts me as a parent, and to lose a child. It hurts me as somebody who is here to be able to navigate these things for these people to be safe. But when we deliberately go out and tell them and falsify stories, how this person has done this or not done that, we could have dealt with this thing differently. Like I told to Chris Anno over and over, he went about this thing in the worst way that he could have done it. And as a pastor, I really give him a zero grade, because he did not use no theological thinking from all the training he's had and all the maturity and all the journalistic instinct that he has. He blew every barrier to critical thinking. He blew every barrier of moral rectitude. And I think we should blame him for whatever happened in Lebielem, because Lebielem, everything that happens in Alo, which is his own hometown, which was the heart of Field Marshal, the King of Ambazonia. It is pitiful that this is a hero that we could have carried his casket and paraded it and mourn him for a couple of days. They've buried him like a Hausa man. That's not our tradition. And we just pray for the mother who sacrificed a lot for this kid to be an Amazonian fighter. And we really will pray for their family. And even for Chris, we'll pray for Chris. As much as we have a difference in idea how to fight this war, we'll pray even for our betrayers. We pray even for our racketeers and our coup plotters, that they should change their way. And their way has been killing our people on a daily basis, and they understand it. If you ask them, what have you done for Ambazonian? They carried a couple of bags of rice and went and paraded and bribed somebody to say, oh, Marianta is a president who has given us $5,000. Well, I'm not going to tell how much money I've put into this fight to support our people, to provide health care for them, to provide um, housing, to provide other things, to provide for security. Some people may be willing to say, "Oh, we don't." I'll provide money if to buy arms, so be it. We cannot be hiding behind curtains that we don't do that. We do it. Let them go to hell. What are they doing with their own money? We don't have any country. Countries do that. We as an individuals, we've decided that it's our country. We will do it on our behalf. So anybody who is out there who is saying, "No, I'm going to sit in behind and hide," we cannot all hide. Some of us have to put our necks on the line, and that's the only way we can. Some of us have to sacrifice ourselves for this Amazonian goal. Field Marshal has done that. Ivo has done that. Ayeke has done that. All the thousands and thousands and thousands of people. Mami Api has done that. Baby Tato has done that. We have to understand. Sam Sawyer, all the people they have beheaded, they've done everything they can do humanly possible to humiliate us and to betray us. But we will not give up. We have said it. We are not going to give up. Our people are going to fight. And this, a day to destiny is coming. La Republique is going to pack out. And I've said it, the simple strategy, cut all those coffee farms, cut all those cocoa farms, and plant things that you can use in your farms. And it makes us a little bit much more. We can determine the cost of our goods rather than selling our cocoa. They come and tell you, say, a bag of cocoa is 5,000. You're not going to eat cocoa. You cannot cook it for fufu. So we have to do what we must do. You can replant those things later if you want to, but that is the most uneconomic development for your family. It takes how many years for a cocoa farm to bear fruit? You clean it every day, you plant it, you fertilize it for years and years before it, 3-4 years. So what are you eating? You are living on borrowed money. So let's do what we must do. And I hope my brother Crisano, I'll call you my brother. We've slept in hotels. We've done things together for this fight. Sometimes you're driving on the highway and the tire punctures. You cannot control that. That's what happened in this relation with IG and Chris. Chris was that tire that just punctured, and sometimes it has bad outcomes, and sometimes if you are lucky, you can come out safely. But this is one of those outcomes that it's an ugly outcome, and anybody who is happy about it is my enemy too. We cannot be happy about this. He's a son of the
Thank
soil.
you. Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to a close as far as this briefing this weekend is concerned. We are about getting into the draft, which is the standpoint that we have told our Republic as long as they continue to drag their feet, we will continue to draft. And we want to advise the ARFs who have left their houses and they are now hanging in the streets with deceitful promises and with peanuts that have been given to them. Some of the money that you might have received is money that they stole from the interim government. I'm just speculating. And number two, if they give you any money in a big chunk, just know that it has been poisoned. That is the trap of La Republique. And of course, the game plan that they had for a very long time, they have corrupted a number of people and they have not been able to deliver the goods. And so they are still trying very, very hard. Now, they thought that through their proxy, when they killed Chacha of Bui, everybody was like, the game is over. Nsubu came up. Now they contracted and played a very big game, and Nsubu was gone. When Nsubu was gone, the battle still continued. The secret behind all this is that the battle is not fought by any of the greatest names that you have heard in this struggle. The battle is fought by God Himself, especially when you are in the house that you're supposed to be. When God spoke and the interim government came up with this division in order that you can be recognized in your house and do what you should do, some unscrupulous fellows that were shouting, "We must get to Boya, we must get to Boya." And since the interim government cannot be present in every LGA and in every county, he decided to subdivide it to make the job easy. Many hands do light work. And some of the people that came in there to handle the light work, unfortunately, they became thieves overnight. Some of them were not very bad, but they were influenced by the kind of money that they saw and they received, which they have never had in their lives. And so they decided to be partakers of the blood of our heroes and they stole the money. And in order to cover up the evidence, they started pointing fingers at the wrong person. Every finger was pointed at Dr. Sako because they know that at the end of the day, they will be able to disappear. And so many of them jumped out to form the other group that has gotten so many names. Some call it coup plotter, some call it racketeria, some call it disgruntled, some call it, there's so many names. Now, that group, when it got out, instead of really, really identifying itself, they continue to hide, disguise themselves, and they were hiding under the interim government, calling themselves interim government, deceiving our people and making people to be confused. But the interim government on ABC has been reiterating that there is only one interim government, and especially the young man who was very vocal on ABC, Chris Anu, continued to call himself Secretary of State for Communication for the IG, which was a very wrong, mistaken, and stolen application. Now, we came up to tell you that Dr. Martin Mungwa is the Secretary of State for Communications in the interim government, and he has been coming on the air to brief the people of Amazonia, especially those our ARFs on the ground that are still alive. Those who have died in all this tragedy, in this journey, who have heard, they were alive yesterday and they heard the warning and they saw some examples. The first example that came up was still Blake, and that was Ivor. We warned, and people were warning, but they didn't learn anything from Ivor. Then later on, the next person that came up was Ayeke, who jumped out, and unfortunately, he also went. The sound was made, the report was made, the briefing was given, and after that, Commando, he still stepped in and then went. And time will fail me to mention that which the SOS has already mentioned. Today, you are alive. Today, you are listening to us. If you will not humble yourself and come back like a prodigal son, thinking that you are invincible with all that you have on your body, is not going to help you. The people who thought that nobody could handle them and could reach out to them, they are all gone. And now it's your turn. Could you please, in that your turn, sit up and make sure that you do not go the route which they have gone and come back to the house. Your final words, SOS, we want to hear from you. The last words that you'll be talking. I've often and in most cases heard the President of the Federal Republic of Amazonia, Dr. Samuel Sako, reiterate that the door is open, the house is not closed. If you have jumped out, you are free to come back to the house like the prodigal son. The door is still open, you can be received. Now, I want to find out from you, people like Chris and Marianta and the other people that have jumped out, and if at all they went out in ignorance, do you think that if they come back to the interim government, the door is still open for such people to be received and reinstated into the struggle for us to get back to our hometown? Thank you.
The frontier of this war is pretty long. It's about 2,000 miles or 2,000 kilometers or so long.
I hear the
It's a
way you
big,
take a deep breath.
it's
Your
it's
deep breath should told me that. Okay, go ahead.
it's a pretty long frontier. Every
Yeah.
person can have a spot to fight for a liberated Amazonia. Even if you are liberating 1 inch or 1 meter, that's
Mm,
good. We do not need to fight under the same roof. We
right.
can have one goal, and that goal is
Yeah.
to liberate Amazonia and fight from all the different geographical locations. And we are actually doing it with the LGAs. That's why we are saying to the miniature part of this relationship, you are related to your hometown where you come from. You know the people who are being killed. You know the houses that are being burned. You can identify your uncle, your uncle's friend, your teacher, your primary school, your pastor's house. We know all these people. So that was the motivating factor. Once you know these people, the tendency is that you want to defend them. But some people have decided not to even defend their own families. I know somebody in Kumba, when this thing started, we are talking, oh, can you help even buy one rifle for, and he said, oh no, I get my business for Kumba. No one, but guess what? He went to Kumba and a bullet went through the Calabrot house that his father was living in there. He was sitting eating fish and it went through his neck. He never came back to America. So we have people who've lost their life in a tragic manner because they refuse to support this fight. Um, we don't have a country when you are out of your own home place of birth. Every day they can say, oh, you Africans, you are crazy, you are useless, you are nothing. And you can just say, yes, you have to. Because if your country was a good place to stay, you will not be here. So we are being condemned because we cannot act forcefully as one. We want to do things in little sphincter here and little splinter here, and it doesn't help anybody. We, as a people of Amazonia, look at yourself in the mirror every day you get up and ask yourself, what have you done for those poor people back home? The Ukrainians are dead. People, everybody is contributing money everywhere around the world. The war in Amazonia is 5 years or 6 years and counting. The war in Ukraine is 4 or 5 months. But they've received how many million? $7 billion alone from the United States. That should tell you that nobody values us. If they don't value us, does it make you so stupid to convince yourself that you are valueless? So we have to understand that this fight, we cannot wait for other people to fight for us because they've learned not to. They've been killing the people of Zaire. Zaire has lost more than 80 million people over the years. But who's talked about it? Nobody. Even Africans are not talking about it. Africans are not trying to fight what is causing all these issues. It's the same thing in Amazonia. We cannot let ourselves be led by a few. If that few stands, we are done. But the majority, all we have to do is to develop a herd mentality where we just run so that you trample everything that's on the way. That's the way we have to do it. We cannot do it by running in a straight line. We have to do it in mass and run and stampede, and we should. This is where all the draft comes in. We've placed in constraints where nobody can actually just take money again and run like before. We've learned from our mistakes. We've made mistakes. Anybody who is trying to run away from that has to be honest to the people of Amazonia. We were in a trial moment. We were forging ahead, and we are not dealing with things that you can go to a store and buy, and you go to the checking counter and you check out. No, you are doing things that you have to go through third party, fourth party, fifth party, and sometimes in between that line, somebody will walk away, and you don't have any recourse in the court because what you might be doing is not viewed as a legal transaction. So we have to do what we have to do. That's why we are talking about creating our own factories back home that can make anything that we need. We have enough engineers. We have enough technicians. We have some of the best technical schools in Central Africa. So we can do that. We just have to say, yes, this is the fight that we must fight. Put your little contribution into this fight. Let Amazonia, push Amazonia to actualize its very own existence, actualize your own very own existence. Because we are sitting abroad, we are not getting the best of our lives. We work 5-6 days a week to provide for help back home, to provide for help to take care of our families here. We will not be doing that. It's not we can do half of what we do in Amazonia and still do a lot for the country. So, my brothers and sisters, look in your checkbooks. Even if you put 25 cents, 50 cents, 60 cents, $1 every day, you'll be able to pay $1,000 towards this fight. Give your own best crop to Amazonia, because Amazonia is an idea. It's an idea, like people say, internet. It's an internet nation. Yes, every nation comes up by conception. Every nation. There's none that has just immaculately appeared. Everybody thinks of making a country. You see the Germany today. You know how many wars that Denmark fought to Bismarck fought to bring Germany together. You know how many Garibaldi fought to bring Italy together, or all the islands in Portugal that how were fought, the Irish, the English. Every country is a conception, and Amazonia is not going to be something different. We have the conception that we want an Amazonia. We created Amazonia. We had a name, Dr. Barrister Fodidinka, or Chief Fon Godidinka, came up with the Amazonia name. It's stuck because it's what we can legitimately call ours. When you deliver your child, what do? You name it. We have that name. We will popularize that name. We'll insist people call us that. I hate the idea you say British Southern Cameroon. We are not British and we are not Southern. People should understand that. The British hasn't done but every bad thing to us. We should name ourselves Amazonia and put it like that. That is it. If people want to know us, they will call us by our name. Let them stop calling us different things. I'm tired of that long acronym. It hasn't helped us. It won't help us. Let's fight for who we are. And Amazonia is what we want to be called. Amazonia is what we are drafting for. Put your money where your mouth is. Don't sit in the bar and tell you contribute where you don't contribute, because we know everybody who contributes. Time will come where we there for reckoning. They'll open all my book. All that when I want to give a business and when I just when it done finish, when I do come up for Duala kind of Bamenda. When I waste time. Now the time
Wow.
this will come. So any man hold the grass. Now time for whole grass. Hold your grass. Because the time for count grass day. where they look you. You be get your grass, when you move your hand for your pocket, your grass no come out, you know they. This not the time. So I just talk for all my Bamenda people them. One for Basongwa, for Ntarinkon, for Bafut, for Santa, for Mendankwe, for for Tuba, for Bambui, for I don't even forget some of the area them. But all that people them place them from Mancon, going to Mbengwi. Mbengwi then are from Momo, but that other place in Bali. So Pingin, Njong, Baligam, Awing. So more na do go for a country house and move on our own small money and put them because all this thing what we
Baba
try to
two.
do. Buffer two them.
Baba two.
Buffer two. Baba
Baba,
one, Baba two. Um
no, Baba two.
Mbe,
Not Baba. Baba
Baba
one is
two.
not. Baba one
Baba
is in
two.
Kokotinja. Yeah.
Loketunde, okay. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So
Baba two is.
yeah.
Mhm.
So more we contribute the most what we contribute for Bambui them and Bambali them. More wanna move everybody wanna feel move and for contribute. More na no think say okay this thing that lost. We got lost money. You don't see America they go for war. They just say 100 of their tank they don't lost. America get this A1 Abram, this one na tankers they disappear for fuel. Now who take them? They know someone else sell them for somebody. They just sit down and they will turn around. They see that same gun the way they will when at their own, it shoot at them for inside the battlefield. So these things they happen even in the best of places. More not sit down. They just say we be some isolated, insular thing where bad thing nothing happen. Bad thing they happen outside, and bad thing that happen for we. Bad thing that happen. This thing where says that way. Few marshal die. My heart, it is still make me tear up. But the fight get to continue because we get to jump diamond go for war. We know if you remember behind diamond, the war will end. We go still they will still the
Well,
kill we. Even if we surrender
yeah.
today, they will still kill we. So more we
Yeah.
do, the best we do. More we fight, me than kill we for the fight. The more we surrender, me than kill we like they do at the beginning of a DDR. So now we all small this thing that this IG with Dr. Sako, as much as many people that hate Dr. Sako, now we be the only people who fight this war. If you ask yourself, who's ADF the fight? No man, no. Who's Sokadev the fight? They fight na picture. They make a movie them. They fight war. But we go do the true things for Amazonia. If not only we few, if we contribute, may everybody be liberated. That's fine. We go do it. But now we own mission for do it to what we get to do. And I try my best for my own side, even for my own family. There are people when they no one more we there for this thing. Yes, all man for one family, no fit think the same. We dey think differently, and I so divide it for inside Amazonia because now inside even every household, people they know they there for this war, people they know they know they for this war. But what we'll do, we still get to still deal a family. But at the end of the day, liberty is something where you know we limit them for some few people. Say now when I win liberty, when I only when I'll get the liberty. The people that know want liberty, when I put them back for slavery, for back to la republic. No, Amazonia na Amazonia. At the end of the day, we will get to settle within the for our own house. Like I don't talk, we go wash with dirty linen them inside for backside. We no wash them for front door. And I saw it there. Thank you.
Uh, all right. Thank you very much, SOS, for coming and giving us feedback. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for people of Ambazonia. When I don't listen, I want to reiterate that in the next few minutes,
And I
the
try
door,
my
the
best for
door,
my own
the door
side.
will be open. Yeah, the door will be open so that we will enter for the draft where we get them for uh, Mezam today. And also, I want to talk say we still wait the real sources for confirm the death as don't talk. There is still a little bit of some confusion out there, and since if we don't live we camp, with the we know say now if it truly it don't go, I know say we'll give tribute for ye because I don't do something. But for now, we'll go talk about that one next week, very seriously, if truly wait away with the hear that true story. Because there is a lot of controversy over there for inside social media. It don't go, it never go, it don't go, it never go. That one no be with portion. We the only wait for here, wait where they go on. And an old soldier where he don't desert a house, go for another place. At the same time, we will still give the honor, and then we'll talk detailedly next week if we discover say not true. Then we get to where we go talk. So one for tell Ambazonians they may gonna stay with our hands cross, and no talk say you no get $1,000, no talk say you no get money. Please, this draft, if you get 50 cents as SOS don't talk, come in and give your 50 cents. And no say you go be recognized. Yes, you go be recognized. The draft not be only for rich people them where they get plenty money, and of course nobody know actually will be rich. Everybody bring out from the best way it get up. No, if somebody way it get $500 in a month, it give five reais. I mean $5, and then somebody get $10,000 a month, it give 1,200. You cannot compare the two of them. That man will give $5 from the 500, and one will give 1,200 from the 10,000. They are the same. They are the same. So no talk say my own too small because they don't mention this man in name. We will try to mention all your name, all money name this time around. So every Ambazonia will encourage you for come in and then come and share which way you fit gam so that we fit continue. These people must leave our land. Once again, Mr. SOS, thank you very much for coming. And Ambazonians, next week is another opportunity. Don't go away. Stay tuned and get into the draft house right now. It will start very soon. Thank you, SOS.
Thank you, Reverend
Bye.
Commando.
Fellow Ambazonians, the Ambazonian War Draft goes to Mezam County Saturday, July 16th at 7 p.m. Amber Time.
Basafi. Amundu no genda kwanga.